Care Services, because there's no place like home.
Good morning and happy South Florida Saturday. Welcome once again to Limitless Health Horizons right here on Legends 100.3. And this program, of course, is brought to you by Horizon Care Services. Excellence in private duty home care. The very best, period, when it comes to private duty home care. And even way beyond that. And, I can tell you that that is true based on my experiences with the young lady that's with me on this program, and is every single week. We're talking about the founder and owner of Horizon Care Services, my friend Andrea Albertini. How you doing, Andrea?
Good morning. I'm wonderful. Happy Saturday, everybody. Thanks for tuning in once again.
It's always great to have you here. And, I talk about your influence on this. I talk about how Horizon is run, why everything is so far above and beyond, and that it comes from you. I mean, that's leadership from the top. I know you very well, Andrea. I know that you lead with heart. I know that this is your passion. It's your calling. Really?
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about it, because I know we had a conversation not too long ago about people didn't even realize this was an option. It was like once the care for a loved one got to be too much for them, they said, well, it's time to put them in a home, without understanding that there is help that can actually come through them. They can age in place. They can be in their home and have the help that they need and still be at home. And that's what home care is all about. Let's talk about Horizon and what it is that you do.
So we specialize basically in long-term care homes. So we are that alternative, for you to age in place. And you don't have to feel like your life is ending because you need help, you need assistance. And we have done that very well for 22 years.
Yes.
And we have patients that's been with us for 10, 12, 11 years, in dressing, cooking, cleaning. So a lot of people out there don't understand or know about private duty. When we talked about this before in the radio, home care, they think it's Medicare home care.
Right.
A nurse comes to visit you, then start physical therapy, and then in 3 weeks, everybody's out. That's not what we do. We do continuing care at home. We live with you. We spend 24 hours with you, 8 hours, 6 hours, anything and everything that you need. We have the Nurse Navigator program. We have the Care Management Division. We have the senior placement also.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times families say, oh my God, I got to put my mom in a home. I got to put my dad in a home. No, you don't have to. There's other alternatives for that.
Right.
So.
And that's the thing, being right there at home with a caregiver. And it's, your caregivers, I love this about them, because I think over 60% of them have been with Horizon Care Services for 22 years, since you started this.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
It says a lot for the culture there, but it also says a lot for their love for what they do and how seriously they take it. We had in-home care for my mother for a while before she passed. And I remember the bond between her and that caregiver. It was really an amazing thing, because at first we were that was the family home, right? My dad had passed away a few years before. My siblings and I did our best to help out. But there was this sense of, we're bringing this woman that we don't know in. And then I remember she'd been there about a week, and we visited. And this young lady, who we still love this woman, she's great, was there on the couch with my mom, watching Magnum and fawning over Tom Selleck and talking about the commercials.
So cute.
And you could tell that they really were starting to develop a friendship and a real caring. And my mother's health did well. It was perfect for my mother to have that kind of a live-in care. We could trust it. She was in her home that she and my dad built, and her needs were covered right there in the home. And that was really kind of magical to see, because that is really what good home care does. That's how it works.
And, we do things a little different. We are a different type of home care.
Yes.
We are very, very concierge. We go from the time the patient gets admitted to us to, do you have a will? Do you have a living will? When was the last time you saw a primary care physician?
Right. Good point.
Do you have a foot problem? Do you need orthotics? When we get older, we need to have special shoes. What kind of shoes is this person is wearing? We do a total evaluation on this client, when we we take a client in. And the other things that I want to mention too, Mike, got to remember, not everyone does well with home care,
Sure.
right?
No, that's absolutely true.
Sometimes, people need socialization. They want to be with other people. They want to talk. They want to socialize. They want to feel like they're living on a resort kind of settings.
Right.
That they don't have a lot of responsibility with the pool and the yard and anything like that. So there's other choices as well, which, some patients does really well, like I said, at home, and some patients does really well better on assisted living or independent living, like a resort setting of
Right.
community.
And I think that's a very important distinction, because it's not a one-size-fits-all by any stretch of the imagination.
Absolutely not.
There are people that are going to do very well at home, but there are people that do need something else. There are people who need that sense of structure. There are people who need to know everything is there in one place for them. There's an awful lot around this. And to that end, we've got somebody very special from a very special place with us in the studio today. With us today is our friend Danny Josma, who is Director of Sales at the Carlisle Luxury Senior Living Community. It's located right in Southern Palm Beach, and it's a beautiful place. Danny, welcome to Limitless Health Horizons. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you both for having me.
It is wonderful to have you too, and it's wonderful to have options.
Yes.
Right? Having different choices it's what it's all about. And listen, there are a lot of communities out there. There are. If something like home care is not what's going to be best, then looking at those options is obviously a key part. So let's talk a bit about the Carlisle Luxury Senior Living Community. What's it all about? What does the Carlisle offer, Danny?
The Carlisle is an amazing community. It's located right in Lantana, and you said it right before. There are a ton of other communities around us,
Sure.
and we offer a lot of the same things. But what I love about the Carlisle, it is that when we say luxury, it really is a luxury community. It is located just a block from the ocean.
Okay.
Different style apartments. So we have 2 bedrooms. We have apartments that overlook the ocean in the intercoastal. Not to mention just kind of where we are located, and it's just an amazing community. When you think of Palm Beach
Right.
and living in a luxury community, in a hotel-like community, I think of the Carlisle.
Wow, that kind of said it all.
Yeah.
But again, and what's funny is, look at her right now. Look at that smile. Like, obviously, it means a lot to you.
Yes, it does.
To be affiliated with the Carlisle. You obviously take a lot of pride in the Carlisle's services, in the atmosphere,
Yes.
and everything else. Let's talk about that a bit, because you're setting it apart by being like that Palm Beach style. But what does that mean to you as far as the activities? What does that mean to you as far as the pride of the people who are living there and their sense of a home? Let's talk about it.
So one of the things we talk a lot about at the Carlisle is lifestyle. We're all used to a different lifestyle. We all
Yes.
have different options. And again, not only do we cater to that lifestyle, but we have this whole program, and our whole goal is to meet our families and our residents where they are in their journey.
Right.
So we have lots of people that will move down from New York and New Jersey and Canada, and let's be honest, they are used to living a certain way.
Yes.
And we want to continue to cater to that. So when you're in need of senior living and you're aging in place, a lot of folks think it's just kind of, this is the end for me. But we don't want them to kind of see it as this is the end. This is where life actually begins at the Carlisle. So when we say and we talk about lifestyle, we really mean that. If you're used to, to having transportation and being taken to doctor's appointments, we can continue to do that. Okay. We can continue to make sure that your activity level and the social level is being met in every single way, spiritually, intellectually, and physically. So we hone in on every single resident to make sure that if we say yes, this is a community for you, we are saying yes to making sure that your lifestyle is going to be the same lifestyle that you've been used to at the Carlisle.
Again, it's pretty comprehensive as far as that goes. Let's talk about some of those activities. What are some of the ones that are offered at the Carlisle?
So one of the things that we love doing, our residents really enjoy, is just our outings. We have amazing outings. We have an amazing team. So one thing to know for sure about the Carlisle is that we offer independent living, assisted living, and also memory care. And what's great about it is that it's all on one campus, one property.
Right.
So just like, Andrea's company has that continuum of care and that aging in place, we offer aging in place, but at the community level. So we have people that will come into independent living, and they're doing great, they're thriving, and they're still able to remain independent. And further down the line, they may need assisted living. And further down the line, they may need memory care options, right? So when we talk about activity and programming or life engagement, again, we're kind of taking the independent living and making sure that we're catering to their needs on every level. If it's golfing that you like, we can do that. If it's outings in a restaurant, with where we are at the Carlisle, we've got Benny's on the beach and all these amazing restaurants right on the water.
That's an iconic spot.
Right?
Glad to
That's
hear
an
that they got all
iconic
that work done and
spot,
still open.
right? Dune Deck and John G. So we're in a very iconic location, and we make sure that we tap into that as much as we can. And then with the programming and the assisted living, folks who are living in the assisted living, they're kind of the ones you see more of in the community.
Sure.
So it is really important that we keep them very active and very involved as much as possible. So it's not your typical bingo. Yes, we have that as well, but
Who doesn't love bingo?
Yeah, who doesn't love bingo? You play for money, right? But there's a lot more that goes into that, and making sure that it is a really robust program that meets every single option and level for our residents at the Carlisle.
What are some of those other activities? You've got your basic bingo and so on. What are some of the other activities that you offer?
So a typical day starts off by doing exercise in the morning. It could be yoga on the beach, which we had a few months ago,
Right,
where
very
we're
cool.
utilizing that space as much as we can. But for those who can't do that, we have a programming and exercise at the community. It may be chair yoga, it may be Tai Chi. We have a lovely theater at our community. And it's not a typical theater, okay? A lot of communities, they have a big screen TV in chairs, and they say, there you go, that's your theater. Right. We actually have a theater with a big screen TV and theater seats. And again, we're catering to that atmosphere and that lifestyle.
Sure, you can bring
so
in entertainment and
we
everything
do
else,
that.
yeah.
We love that. Our dining program is absolutely amazing as well. So doing things such as different cooking demos, figuring out what they love and what they like. So again, food, activity, and lifestyle, all of the things that folks look for when they're moving into these communities are kind of what we center everything we do in activities and life engagement around.
It's a very customizable type of a thing. It sounds
Very
like to me.
customizable.
Because you've got something on all those areas. Now, one of the important things here, we talked about it in terms of the independent living. There's a lot of great activities around that, both on and off campus.
Yes.
You get the assisted side of it because you still have plenty of activities there because we need to break isolation for so many people. And when you get into the memory care aspect, that's a huge part of it as well. Let's talk about that a bit because, isolation is a big enough issue for the senior community. Then you add that to things like COVID that happened when the families couldn't visit the same way and people were all isolated. In every aspect of this, from independent to assisted to memory care, that elimination of isolation for the people who really need it is key. How do you facilitate that in some of those other areas?
Well, again, what are some of the reasons that people really move into communities, And when you really look at it, there are just maybe about 3 or 4 things. Now, with independent living, these folks are looking for an active lifestyle, and they want a maintenance-free lifestyle. They don't want to worry about the mortgage and the assessments and the insurance on the home and the cooking and all of that. So the folks that are looking to move into an independent living community, that is what they're looking for. So the activities and the social aspect is really important to them. And then we look at the assisted living, and that is kind of where my passion is a lot, because when I think we all learned during COVID that isolation is really scary. It's deadly. It's dangerous. It's really dangerous. And I'll never forget, I had a colleague say, isolation is equal to smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Like, that's how bad it is.
In terms of the effect on health. I remember some of those studies.
Yeah. And then you think about, you're talking about a senior who is isolated in their home, not to mention the care piece that they're not getting. And I just love the fact that there are home care services like Horizon Care that can offer these things and these services at home.
Right.
But what happens when they actually are missing the piece of that social aspect and they're being more and more isolated? So that is one of the things that we actually love to do and we tackle when we get into the assisted living, is that isolation piece. And that's why the activities are so important. That sense of community and togetherness is
Very big.
important.
Yeah.
Even if you're just having a meal at dinner, it's not just a meal at dinner with people, but you're being amongst other people is it's a big deal. So and even with memory care, we handle things a little bit differently there, and our approach is totally different. So again, really important to make sure that the isolation, that we don't want them to feel the isolation.
When you say that approach is different in memory care, what does that mean? Let's talk a bit about your approach to that in the memory care area, because again, that's a huge part of this. When it comes to memory care, a lot of people have no idea how to handle that isolation, how to speak to someone who is having memory care, a need for memory care. It's a very different animal than what most of us are used to.
It is a different animal, and it's really scary for families, you know. And I always get the question, well, how do I know my loved one needs memory care? And I tell families, well, think of memory care as assisted living, because it really is, right? We're doing kind of the same things there in memory care, but it's really for people that do have dementia, an Alzheimer's diagnosis, that are exit seeking. And what I love about the memory care community, which we call Lilac Trace at the Carlisle, is that it's a very small, intimate community. And the way it is set up, it's on 2 floors, and every floor has a designated common space, such as an activity area.
Right.
It has a separate dining area. And we have a very, very high functioning memory care community as well.
Okay.
So our approach is different when it comes to memory care than I would say assisted living. Because not say, for example, we're playing bingo in the assisted living, we're playing for money. We're probably playing bingo in the memory care community as well, but our approach is completely different, and maybe it's they're winning prizes, and maybe it's an emotional thing and a more emotional process with memory care, and everything we do there is based on kind of our approach and redirection. So a lot of families will, they'll again ask, agitation is one of the big things that we deal with, right? When we're working with someone that has these symptoms or these diagnoses, and isolation kind of breeds a lot of these behavior issues, right? So again, a lot of families are not trained or experienced to know how to deal with their loved ones because you have that emotional piece.
Oh, well, you're sitting there also trying to correct them.
Yeah.
You're trying to say, no, this is the year.
Yes.
This is who I am.
Yes.
It's never going to fly.
And you should never do that. You should never tell your loved one who has memory issues, no, right? We're going to redirect.
Redirect as opposed to correct, because you have to kind of live in their world, which is very, very hard for someone who doesn't have the training or does have that emotional connection, because your mom may not be recognizing you.
Right.
Your mom may think it's 50
and that's
years
hard.
before, and it's emotionally devastating. You're trying to say, no, this is who I am and this is who you are.
Yeah.
But that part is not going to be there. You have to kind of believe that you are the person that they believe you are and play that role. A professional who understands that doesn't have that kind of emotional connection, but is going to be able to build a relationship with that person that's genuinely caring and genuinely understanding. It's freeing for everyone involved.
Right.
For the person who has the agitation, that displacement, because they can be redirected and the agitation goes away. And for you as a family member to suddenly say, I don't have to carry this burden. I can be there and share time without that stress of trying to fix it. And
that's the thing I think we have to realize as family members, that we can't fix it.
Can't fix it. It's not going to get better.
And it's not really our job to fix it, right?
We'll destroy our own lives when we do.
Yeah. And it's hard because it's your loved one, and this is not the way you've pictured mom or dad.
Ever.
It's not the person that you know today.
It's not.
So are we doing them a disservice by keeping them in a situation where someone who may not be able to care for them is caring for them?
Yeah. I get it. And they're very deep questions. And they need to be addressed, but the Carlisle is a wonderful option. Carlisle Luxury Senior Living Community. It's in Southern Palm Beach. And we're speaking with Danny Josma. She's the Director of Sales for the Carlisle. How do people get in touch with the Carlisle? How can they learn more?
Well, I would encourage, first of all, that you definitely follow our Facebook page, which we keep very, very much so up to date. Okay. It's the Residences at the Carlisle Palm Beach and the Carlisle Palm Beach. And there you get to actually really experience the lifestyle that I talk so much about at the Carlisle.
Right. You see it all.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can always give us a call at 561-533-9440, and we would love to have you by for a visit of our beautiful community.
That's 561-533-9440, you said?
Yeah.
And it's Carlisle Palm Beach and Residences, Carlisle Palm Beach on Facebook. Check those out, learn more, and set up that tour. Check it out and see what it's all about for your family. Now, I'm watching you as you're talking, and you obviously take a lot of pride in the Carlisle, but also it means a lot to you to do this.
Yeah.
I can tell. I mean, I can see that this is something that, Andrea, she founded Horizon because she saw a need. She saw that there was a better way to do it that was better for her conscience, better for her heart. And she founded Horizon so she could look at herself in the mirror every day and say, I'm doing the right thing. I kind of get a feeling that you feel the same way about the work that you did at the Carlisle, Danny. Why is that? Why is this your mission?
I absolutely feel the same way. I truly believe with all my heart when we move someone into a community, especially for assisted living or memory care, we are saving lives, right? We are saving their lives because God forbid they be on the floor at home for so many hours, because I've had stories of that happening. But you know what? I've been doing this for a very long time. I won't tell you how old I am, but when I started, I didn't have a look of gray hair, and now I have some gray strands. So it's been a long time. But I do this because, and I always say that I did not choose senior living, but it actually chose me.
Senior living chose you.
Yeah, senior living chose me. And, I didn't have the opportunity to really grow up with my grandparents who are in different countries. Mm-hmm. And I can honestly say I have probably assisted over 460 seniors and moving into these communities from hospital, home, or rehab. Wow. And so I really do feel that I am helping them and saving them. But it's very personal to me because I consider them, they give me the opportunity to spend time with them and, with not being able to be around my own grandparents. So it's amazing.
Wow,
And one of the things that I want to mention about the Carlisle, the Carlisle has been such a signature for South Palm Beach for so long. And, and when I went to, and I haven't been there for a long time, but I had the pleasure to come for a tour last week because I am actually working and getting somebody placed there in memory care. And I was really impressed with the memory care because it's very active.
Right.
You see those ladies, those Palm Beach ladies with their Louis Vuitton bag and their hats and their Lily Pulitzer.
I've dated a few.
And and I'm like, oh, I love you, Lily. And I said, I'm a Lily girl too. And we, so they're it's really a nice, active community for especially the Alzheimer's unit. It's very nice over there. And it's been a staple in South Palm Beach County for so many years,
time. Yeah, the history of the Carlisle is just It's fascinating to me because, you're just talking about that and the whole look. Palm Beach is what they know, right? This is, especially in terms of memory care, that is the comfort level. That is what is familiar and nice and easy. So when, Palm Beach style is Palm Beach style and has been Palm Beach style forever, right? So if you get someone and you're trying to convince them, and you shouldn't be trying to convince them that it's 2024, when they think it's 1974 or 72, they're going to get that familiar feel at the Carlisle because it's a timeless type of a feel.
Absolutely.
And that is what the memory care side brings as well as the others. It sees it from the point of view of that resident. It sees it from the point of view of their experience and their comfort and their needs, as opposed to trying to, say, look, here's our program, let's twist you to fit it. Here are a bunch of different options that we can work to fit your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And that certainly seems to me to be a Carlisle signature. You can call the Carlisle 561-533-9440, Carlisle Luxury Senior Living Community in South Palm Beach, right on the water. Or you can head to Facebook for residences at Carlisle Palm Beach and Carlisle Palm Beach. Now, Andrea, one of the cool things about this, talking with you, is that, you work in home care. Like, you don't have a live-in facility. Like, you don't have one of those. This is something that you do, and you form these partnerships for the good of the human beings that need the care.
Right, because together between my services and her services, it kind of mashed together.
Yes.
To complete the whole entire circle,
Right.
which is really nice.
is.
The transitional care program that we have when we're moving somebody in. You got to remember, the Carlisle is a continuing care community,
Yeah,
a
triple C,
high
if you will.
end, right, triple C. It's a high end, beautiful community in South Palm Beach. So, so you expect to have that hold hand, when somebody, I'm moving Mrs. Smith in, okay, who's doing her move, who's helping her pick up the furniture for her clothing for her, what we're giving away, what are we auctioning
Well, it's concierge
out?
care on the way in there, too.
Concierge care
It's-
all
which is
the
your whole
way,
thing, Andrea.
all the way.
Concierge is your whole deal with
Exactly.
Horizon. So
Yeah.
it's an
Exactly.
extension of that.
Exactly.
It's just in that case, it's a service that that benefits those people's needs
Exactly.
when they need them.
Exactly. So that's why it's a really nice relationship, because we can also help maintain those residents healthy at home.
I love this. I mean, because again, it's a very natural partnership. But for me, it's always going to be about the people. And Andrea, how I feel about you as a person and
Yes.
your leadership. That you lead with heart, you lead by example. You created Horizon, a labor of love, because it was the right thing to do. And then speaking with Danny in the Carlisle, Danny, her mission certainly seems to be an extension of that. It's about when the time comes that a facility is the right thing, it's doing it right for the individual people, what their needs are, what their desires are, what's going to work for them to keep them comfortable and thriving, and take that burden off of the family as well, just in a different way.
Yes.
But, reach out if you think that it may be something that is right for you or your family. You can see so much about the Carlisle Luxury Senior Living Community on Facebook. Once again, that's Residences at Carlisle Palm Beach or Carlisle at Palm Beach. You can call 561-533-9440. Or getting in touch with Horizon, you can also put them in touch with the Carlisle and also
yes,
your
absolutely.
entire massively ridiculous menu of options
Yes.
that encompass home care and beyond. I remember, there's a particular restaurant, I'm not going to mention them, but they were very well known for a long time because their menu is so large and extensive that they used to sell ads in it. And a pretty well-known restaurant. Your menu of options, it makes theirs look like it's a single placard.
Oh, absolutely.
So
it's whatever you need.
Whatever you need, and that is your mission at Horizon from day one. And if you would like to learn more about it, if the time has come when you say, I do need help with this, don't try to do it on your own. The statistics bear out that can literally be fatal for you. Don't do that. Reach out to Horizon Care Services, 561-776-7757, 561-776-7757, or horizoncareservices.com. Andrea will speak. Get your questions answered and find whatever plan is going to work best for you within that massive umbrella of services, horizoncareservices.com. And Andrea, you know what I'm going to say now, right?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Do you? Because it's
We're not
amazing.
even done talking.
Well, when are we ever done talking? But we just
Never.
run out of time like we did again.
I know.
Amazing. Flies are having fun, and there's a lot of information that we covered today. But you can learn more about all of it by heading to horizoncareservices.com or calling 561-776-7757. Andrea, another great partnership. I love it.
I know. Thank you for coming and joining us and share your community with the listeners.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Beautiful.
having me.
Of course. Danny Josma, Director of Sales at the Carlisle Luxury Senior Living Community. Thanks for who you are, what you do, and for being a part of this program today.
My pleasure.
This has been Limitless Health Horizons on Legends 100.3. Mike McGann, Andrea Albertini, Danny, and you. Stick around. Lots more legendary programming on the way on our South Florida Saturday morning.
Horizon Care Services, because there's no place like home.